to take a look at playing a piano song on the guitar. It is, of course, Carole King's So Far Away, from an album that I even have a songbook from my childhood, my teenagehood. Got this Tapestry songbook many years ago that just had piano stuff in it, and back then it didn't mean much to me, but now it came in handy with this song. Because what we're going to do is translate the chords that she plays on the piano onto the guitar. That's going to mean for some unusual sounding ones, some bass notes that seem out of place sometimes, some more open chords that are not just major or minor chords, some extended chords with some odd notes in them, major ninths maybe, and sixths, and 11ths. We're even going to talk about an 11th chord in this. And like a lot of Carole songs, this one doesn't just follow a normal verse, chorus, bridge kind of thing. It's a little blurry. We'll talk about that more as we get further into it, the arrangement. So I've got a page that has the chords and the words, and we're going to talk a lot about the chords. They're not that difficult to play. Matter of fact, let me talk about the first couple here. The first one is D, A, C sharp, and E. Just 4 notes there, opening up to D, A, B, and F sharp. So that's our main little thing that happens in the beginning. So we're going to call this first one a D major 9. Even though it doesn't have all the notes we need in it, we're going to call the other one what it really is, a D6. So for D6, it's like a D chord with just the second string open. For the major 9, another way of thinking of this chord is it's an A chord with D in the bass. So if you play an A chord and just leave the 4th string open as a D, that's what we have. In the case of this song, we're going to be calling it D major 9 because it's functioning as an altered D chord, not an altered A chord. So just start that, and the picking pattern. I'll even talk about this right here, but we'll get more detailed about as we break down all the parts. But a great way to start this is just hit the chord on the first beat, and on the second beat hit the chord again, and then on the and of that, play just the bass note. 1, 2, and then the same thing for the next chord for the D6. 3, 4, and. So the bass went 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and the chord that you're grabbing with 3 fingers just went 1, 2, 3, 4. All you have to do is move one finger on your left hand. When you put those together, and we'll keep that up as we run through the rest of the chords. So that's what we'll get into this. Enough talking about it. Song, I don't really have that much. Carole. A little history on Carole, I guess, while I'm rambling on about this, is a song she wrote after she moved to California to kind of get away from the New York scene and try to reestablish her life away from Gerry Goffin and the New York songwriting crew, and was hanging out in Laurel Canyon with other budding young songwriters. Graham Nash, David Crosby were there, Joni Mitchell. Anyway, the Southern California LA scene was happening in Laurel Canyon, which is just outside. It's in the Malibu direction from LA, for those that maybe don't know. And it was a hotbed of the arts. So she got to know a lot of the other musicians there. James Taylor, of course, in case I didn't mention him just a minute ago. And then came out with her second album, her second solo album. So she did make an album under the name of The City with a few people that became important in the rest of her life. Danny Korchmar and Charles Larkey, I believe. And then put out her first album, Writer, that didn't quite grab the public. But boy, by the time the second album came out in 1971, she had dialed it in. The songs were great, the arrangements were great, the backing musicians were great, and Tapestry, one of the greatest albums of all time. So if you're not too familiar with it, you're probably not even watching this. But of course, had You've Got a Friend on it, her version. It was a bigger hit for her friend at the time, James Taylor. And what else was on it? She dug up some old songs. Will You Love Me Tomorrow, which was something she had written 10 years or so before that was a hit for the Shirelles as part of her New York scene. Okay, enough of the history. Let's get into talking about the things you have to do to play a nice little version of So Far Away.